Say you run a warehouse, 50,000 items on the shelves, and your customer wants a stock take by the end of the day. With barcodes, that means someone physically walking every aisle, pointing a scanner at every single individual item. Now imagine you could count the entire warehouse in minutes completely autonomously. That's UHF RFID, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick primer on what's really going on behind the scenes when you throw your clothes into that basket at Uniqlo. RFID stands for Radio Frequency Identification. There are 3 frequency bands used in RFID, and you've almost certainly interacted with all of them without knowing it. Low frequency, that's a chip used in your pet's microchip or the immobilizer in your car key. Very short range, couple of centimeters, but it works well near water and tissue, which is why it's in your dog. High frequency. This covers NFC, your tap and go card, your MyKey or Oyster card. About 30 centimeters range. Is designed for deliberate close range interactions where you're intentionally presenting the tag. Then there's ultra high frequency or UHF. 1 to 12 plus meters of range, hundreds of tags per second, and no line of sight required. This is what runs warehouse inventory systems, retail stock tracking at places like Zara and Uniqlo, toll road tags, airport baggage handling, and commercial laundry operations. Every UHF RFID system comes down to tags, readers, and antennas. The tag is the thing that you're identifying. The reader is the brain doing the communicating, and the antenna shapes the radio energy and defines where in physical space the system can actually see. The UHF RFID tag is 2 things, a tiny microchip and an antenna. There's no battery or internal power source. It sits there doing absolutely nothing until a reader wakes it up. We call these passive tags, and they account for the vast majority of UHF deployments. So how does something with no battery talk back? The reader emits radio waves through the antenna. It's flooding an area with RF energy. When a passive tag enters that field, the tag's antenna harvests enough energy to power the chip. The chip then modulates the signal and reflects it back. This is what we call backscatter. The best way I've found to explain it is imagine shining a torch at someone holding a mirror. They tilt the mirror up and down, reflecting light back at you in a pattern, like Morse code or binary. The mirror isn't generating its own light, it's just reflecting back what you sent in a meaningful way. What the tag sends back is, at minimum, a unique identifier stored on the chip. Think of it like a license plate. It doesn't tell you the color of the car or who's driving, it's just a number you look up in a database. That identifier is called the EPC, or Electronic Product Code. It's typically 96 bits, which gives you more unique combinations than you'd ever realistically need. But the chip has more than just one memory bank. There's also the TID, a factory-written serial number baked into the silicon that can't be changed, useful when you need to guarantee authenticity. And on some chips, there's a small user memory bank, which you can write custom data to. Not much, only a few bytes, but enough for a batch number or a date code, so you don't need a database round trip for basic info. Tags come in a huge range of form factors. A simple adhesive label called a wet inlay is a paper or plastic sticker with the chip and antenna embedded. A few cents each when you're buying them in volume, and that's what retailers stick on clothing labels. But if you need a tag to survive an industrial wash at 80 degrees or mount on a metal asset or get embedded in concrete, you're getting into ruggedized hard tags. Plastic or ceramic housings, those run anywhere from $1 to $15 each depending on what you need them to do. If the tag is a mirror, the reader is the torch and the eyes. It generates the RF energy that powers the tag and decodes what comes back. A reader is basically a specialized radio, transmitter and receiver in one box. It follows the EPC Gen 2 protocol, which is the global standard for how readers and tags communicate. Fixed readers like this one are permanently mounted. Think a reader bolted above a dock door with antennas on either side, scanning every pallet that passes through. A handheld reader looks a bit like this. This is the TSL 1128, I believe. This is just a Bluetooth handheld reader. It's got a battery in it, you charge it, and you can see it sort of looks a bit like a chunky barcode scanner essentially. The antenna shapes and directs the RF energy from the reader into physical space. It defines your read zone, where in 3 dimensions tags will actually be detected. Get the antenna wrong and you'll either miss tags you need or pick up tags you don't want. This is the kind of antenna that you'll most likely see. So this is a far field antenna designed to read basically as far as the reader and antenna together are able to go. And you might get, up to 20 meters if you're lucky on one of these. 2 concepts to understand here. The first is polarization. Antennas are either linearly polarized or circularly polarized. A linear antenna focuses energy in a single plane. You get more range, but the tag antenna needs to be roughly aligned with it. You turn the tag 90 degrees, you can lose it entirely. A circularly polarized antenna spreads energy in a rotating pattern. So tag orientation matters much less, but you give up some range for that flexibility. In most real-world applications where you can't control how items are sitting, like a bin of tagged garments, circular is the safer choice. The second is beam pattern, how wide or narrow the antenna's field is. A narrow beam gives you a focused, predictable read zone, good for portals where you need to know exactly what passed through. A wide beam covers more area but makes it harder to control exactly what gets read. You end up picking up tags from the next aisle over if you're not careful. So that's the foundation. Tags are passive devices that wake up when a reader illuminates them and reflects back their identity using backscatter. Readers are the brain that generates power, manages communication, and antennas are the part that shape RF energy into a defined zone in physical space. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.